Peter Obi is from the southeast, the only zone that has not produced Nigeria's president since 1999. And if you look at the presidential candidates for 2027 presidential election, I don't know any of them that you can say is better than Peter Obi for this and that reason. If you like, start with Omoyele Sowore. My only grouse against Omoyele Sowore is that he doesn't want to care about rotational presidency. While I believe that every zone, we have six zones, 3 in the north, 3 in the south, and that every zone consists of 6 or 5 states. So it's bigger, each zone is bigger than some countries in the world. And so, what are we talking about? How can a nation expect to be peaceful and progressive without political order, without consideration for the different segments of the country? So what it means is that we are using the law of survivor of the fittest, the Dongu law, I should say, of the survivor of the fittest. And so if Omoyele Sowore is from the southwest, where Obasanjo served a period of 8 years, and Tinubu says he doesn't want to know, he just wants to be Nigeria's president. To hell with the southeast that has not produced Nigeria's president. Because of the 3 zones, southwest, south-south, and southeast. Only the southeast is here to produce the president. The southwest produced Olusegun Obasanjo, south-south, Goodluck Jonathan. Why? Political disorder, survivor of the fittest. I don't care. Oh my God. If you run a nation like that, what you get is what Nigeria is getting. That's my argument. And Omoyele Sowore should also know that if he has a sense of history, Ganifa Nigeria's quintessential human rights activist, whom the likes of Femi Falana and Olisa Agbakoba followed and succeeded. You are not a politician. You are not a politician. You are a human rights activist. But if you want to aspire, start with a sense of justice, political order, and not this Dongu law of survivor of the fittest. That's my only objection to Omoyele Sowore. But as for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you want to think about his age or heartlessness of no more subsidy for anything, yet paying workers less than living wage, and corruption, claiming to be transferring funds to indigent households, and then rather than funding education, you say you are giving loans, having impoverished the people massively, including workers. So how many students will you give loan? It's not that they cannot come for the loan, but they wonder. It will be like a drop in the ocean, a drop of water in the ocean. It's meaningless. It doesn't add up. And that's why it seems people are not going there. And then you are giving them, you claim to, you know, so look at the whole mess now. Some people, they are getting the money from both government and from their parents to pay school fees, or that they will even have paid, the university will have forced them to pay by setting a deadline for payment, while the government has not remitted the money. All these confusions. Rather than funding education for Nigerians, you are claiming fuel subsidy and removing all subsidies. Worse of all, using the subsidy to fund pilgrimage boards and subsidizing pilgrimages. Oh my. In a secular country, lawlessness, total disregard for Nigeria's constitution. You know, so it's part of sense of justice, political order. So if we want to be orderly, to be justiciable, okay, Ibrahim Babangida truncated the rotational presidency in 1993. Chaos, political chaos, almost total breakdown of law and order. Then we started the north-south rotation. Goodluck Jonathan truncated it in 2015. Rather than allow Yar'Adua's northwest to produce his successor, haven't spent less than, haven't died during his first term. And Jonathan, as his vice president, completed the first term. A perfect gentleman would have said, no, let the northwest of Yar'Adua produce his successor so that we maintain. Oh my God, you can see how Jonathan would have positioned Nigeria for peace, for order, peace, unity, progress. No, he said he was ready to fight it. Orchestrated everything and emerged as Nigeria's president in 2015. To what avail? War. 4 brutal years of Jonathan squandered on warring against the Boko Haram Muslim community that was peaceful until attacked by government forces under and head of the jihadist warriors, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. And because Yar'Adua was succeeded by renegades like him, everything has been degenerating. From 2009, when Yar'Adua started that war, till date, Nigeria has been at war against herself. So if you think of Nigeria having political order, unity, peace, progress, then you will not say, whatever it is, I want to be president of Nigeria. Like Atiku Abubakar, an old man who will be 81 in 2027. And some people are following him for money. So I'm saying that of all the presidential candidates, I don't see anyone that is better than Peter Obi. If only because he was cherished by his people as the governor of Anambra State. Yes, he made some mistakes. Who doesn't as a human being? I'm not happy with them for politicizing Catholicism, because I see him as a fanatical Catholic. And when you want to favor your church, you have to you won't do it in isolation. So you begin to politicize religion. Do something for Christianity, and you have to do it for Islam. Chaos. Why the Constitution prohibits state religion? Nigeria will have been peaceful, orderly, united. I tell you, if you don't politicize religion, if you put religion where the Constitution puts it, we will not be fighting a jihadist war since 2009 to 2017 and be condoning grazing of cattle in agrarian fields. But Muhammadu Buhari came and empowered the herdsmen terrorists with AK-47. They were there, but they were not carrying AK-47, and they could easily be put in their place. All of that have gone to the air. And so if Nigerians, North and South, want peace, unity, progress, I don't see a better candidate than Peter Obi. If only to maintain unity. Because look at what Tinubu is doing now. All subsidies are gone. Yet borrowing more money. More than triple what his predecessors who didn't remove subsidies were borrowing. Funding schools. Now you ask them to come for student loan. You have impoverished the workers. You have collapsed businesses because the purchasing power for Nigerians is hardly there. So artisans are not getting, they are getting limited patronage. Salary earners are spending most of their earnings on transportation, maintaining their family life is harder than ever. So what are you talking about? Insecurity. You are looking for security gadgets. Oh my God! Rather than seeking peace for progress. And I'm saying part of seeking peace is voting for Peter Obi in 2027. He's not my ideal candidate, but he comes from the right place. And I don't see how he's morally worse than Tinubu. As for Atiku Abubakar, it's a different cup of tea entirely. Somebody who is drunk with becoming Nigeria's president, even at 81. I will not be surprised if in 1931, Atiku says he's still a candidate. But should we all be crazy? Should we all be mindless? Should we all be inconsiderate? Yeah, because the problem of insecurity is about religious, political, and economic injustices. There's no doubt about it. If you want peace, start with justice. If you want progress, start with justice. If you want unity, start with justice. Where is the justice? Tinubu came, survivor of the fittest, became the president. What is the outcome? Insecurity, growing wings. Every day, horrible stories of even palaces being attacked. Military personnel being ambushed and killed en masse. Since 2009, a nation at war against herself. And you think that all you can do is to have state police, buy surveillance aircrafts, buy sophisticated weapons. Have you not been doing that since 2009? You know what Jonathan squandered in human lives and economic resources of Nigeria. Not to mention Buhari 8 years, and Tinubu has continued to be looting Nigeria's wealth in the name of subsidy and expecting that peace will reign. Where will it reign? Where? And so all I can tell Peter Obi, please correct your religious sense. Go by the constitution. Put religion where it belongs. Anybody, any people cannot practice their religion without state funding. So, who are we to respect now? Where is the influence of our secular constitution that was positioned to guarantee equity? And now, Islam and Christianity come before human life in Nigeria, a secular country by constitutional provision.